Good afternoon, distinguished guests, Honorable Turkish Consul General Ben Bilgen, Honorable New York State Senators, New York State Assembly members, people of the Empire State of New York, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7th Annual Turkish Cultural Day in Albany. My name is James Francis Mutlu, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies today. As Turkish Americans, we are proud to be celebrating the 7th Annual Turkish Cultural Day at the New York State Capitol Building in Albany. Today you are going to experience a bit of Turkish culture, Turkish cuisine, its music and traditions, its language and heritage. As Turkish Americans, we see it as an obligation to make sure that Turkey and the United States keep their long-lasting friendship alive and make it better with each passing day. Turkish Americans contribute to the quality of life in New York State and throughout the U.S. Turkish Americans, Turkish business people invest in the greater state of New York. Likewise, business leaders in New York State and the U.S. invest and do business with Turkey, and also improve cultural, social, and educational ties between the people of these two great nations. Now I would like to welcome to rise for the national anthems. We would now like to thank the host committee for hosting today's program here at the New York State Capitol. Today's event would not be possible without their help and support, and they include Senator Liz Kruger, Senator Toby Stavisky, Senator Susie Oppenheim, Senator Kevin Parker, Senator Eric Adams, Senator Joseph Robach, Minority Leader Assemblyman Rob Konestari, Minority Leader Assemblyman Brian Cole, Assemblyman Stephen Simbrowitz, Assemblyman Kevin Cahill, Assemblyman Michael Cusick, Assemblyman Brian Kavanaugh, Assemblyman Michael J. Fitzpatrick, Assemblyman Joseph Saladino, Assemblyman Rob Schiminger, Assemblywoman Catherine Nolan, Assemblyman Eric Stevenson, Assemblyman Alec Grosny, Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, Assemblywoman Michelle Schimmel, Assemblywoman Rhoda Jacobs, Assemblyman Alan Meisel, Assemblywoman Sandy Galef, Assemblywoman Shelley Meyer, Assemblywoman Nicole Maliotakis, Assemblyman David Weber, Assemblywoman Dennis Garbuzak, and also Assemblyman Michael Dendecker. Please give a round of applause to these gentlemen. Now I would like to invite Senator Andrea Stephen Cousins and also Shirley L. Huntley, Senator of the 10th District, to the podium.
Good afternoon. I would like to start by saying salam. I hope that this day is very special to you and to all the Turkish people, and we enjoyed being here, saluting you, and hope that we can work together and do many, many more things than we've done. It is certainly a pleasure for me because I do know my center in Queens County, and I will be going there again. I've been there, and I will be visiting my Queens people again. And I just want to say I am extremely happy to be here. Have a good day. God bless us all, and I will see you in Queens County. Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce Senator John Sampson, Minority Leader.
Thank you very much. It gives me great pleasure and honor to be here along with my colleagues, Senator Huntley, Senator Andrew Cousins, Senator Adams. But most of all, I'm sorry that I missed that trip to Turkey, which I would have enjoyed a great deal. But I just want to thank the Turkish Cultural Institution for what you have been doing. The wealth of knowledge, but most of all, the time you have taken to educate all of us as legislators, but most of all, our community about your culture. And as I said, New York and this country is a tremendous melting pot. And the time and effort that you spend with your representatives, and we have one here today, taking the time out to make sure we understand about your culture and work with all other cultures makes our state and our country that much stronger. So I just want to thank you for your commitment and dedication, but most of all, your vision to make sure New York State is one state with all different cultures. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins, and I just want to certainly follow my colleagues, Senator Sampson, our minority leader, and Senator Huntley, in saying how pleased I am to be here, pleased to be part of the host committee, always happy to find myself having a little taste of turkey whenever I walk in this room during these wonderful events. I'm from Westchester. I have a wonderful, vibrant Turkish cultural center in Westchester, and I'm sure they mirror what happens with all of us throughout the state. There is no end to the education, the friendship, the making sure that we understand what the values are and finding ways not only to reach out to us as legislators, but also to the community at large, whether it's helping with hurricane relief, whether it's doing fundraisers, for whatever the project is, the Turkish community is there. So I want to thank you in all of your endeavors for being so clear about your mission to educate and to make sure that we're all involved, because together we all make for a very, very bright future. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator. Now please welcome Senator Eric Adams.
Thank you so much. It doesn't matter if you have one star on your flag or several stars on your flag. It all means the same thing. And what we're learning about living in this great country called America is that having patriotism for our country does not mean you cannot respect the many cultures that makes up this great country. As we have many stars on our flag, we so too have many communities and many cultures that will also rise together. And the imperative about a day like this in the seat of our state capital is that we're saying the legislative office building is not made for one denomination, not made for one cultural institution, not made for one institution. We're saying that if you worship in a mosque, a synagogue, or church, if you eat hummus or patatas or any other form of dietary desires, if you wear a hijab or suit or a kufi, it doesn't matter. America is the place where there's a welcome mat that say if you represent the values of humanity, if you represent the value of respectability, if you represent the values of all of us can live as a common friend and not foe, then you too are welcome to be part of America. And no one epitomizes this more than the Turkish community that is part of this institution and part of this state called New York. So we thank you. And on my visit to Turkey, last night to be exact, I cannot tell you how welcoming and warm the people of Turkey are to those of us who fly and visit the country. And so we want to extend our hand to this great institution and its center and what it's doing. This map is only representative of the number of people they touch and talk to and educate. The birth of hate lives in the middle of ignorance. Nothing we can do greater for our country and our nations than to tear down the walls of ignorance so we can learn and build great institutions out of understanding and admiration. And that's what we want to do here in Albany, if it's with our assembly colleagues or the Senate colleagues. No matter what house we represent or no matter what side of the aisle we sit on, we sing the same song. We're members of the greatest race alive, and that's the human race, and the Turkish community proves that every day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator, for your beautiful remarks. Now I'd like to introduce Assemblyman Kevin Cahill to the podium.
What a wonderful, wonderful gathering. And I'm not just talking about the food back there, and you better not eat it all. Save some for us up front here. I would at this time like to ask my assembly colleagues to come on up and join me at the podium. Alec? My assembly colleagues, if they want to come on up. Before I give each and every one of these individuals who chooses an opportunity to speak, I do want to extend to you greetings from Assemblyman Steve Simbrowitz, who was also returned from Istanbul just last night. He's at home dealing with a family emergency. He sends his warmest regards, and I have to tell you that Steve and Lee on his staff have been critical to making this day a success. They've worked very closely with the TCC in Albany and across New York State, in particular in Brooklyn, to make sure that this is a very special day. And speaking of Brooklyn, we have another great Brooklyn leader standing right next to me, and I'd like to give my friend, Assemblywoman Helene Weinstein, a chance to say a few words.
Thank you. I'd like to, of course, welcome the Brooklyn Turkish Cultural Association to Albany, as well as all of the groups around the state, and a particularly special welcome to the students and staff of the Brooklyn Amity School. It's been open, just finishing its first year. I was pleased to be at the ribbon cutting where a building that was really a disreputable part of my community was turned into the center of education, a center of learning, a beautiful building, and I know there are great plans for continuing what has begun with the Brooklyn Amity School. I look forward to working with you in the future and all of the people here today.
One of the founders of the Turkish American Friendship Society at the New York State Assembly is my good friend and somebody who I've had the pleasure of being in Turkey with together, Assemblyman Robin Shimminger from Western New York.
I am happy to report to you that whereas Senator Eric Adams and Assemblymember Steve Simbrowitz just yesterday came here to Albany, in Senator Adams' case from Istanbul, yesterday I came here to Albany from Buffalo, New York. We have in Buffalo a very fine Turkish Cultural Center. It happens to be located in my assembly district. The visit to Turkey that Senator Adams made, I think perhaps is already depicted on the poster to my left, your right. Because I think I see Cappadocia, I think I see the Hagia Sophia, I think I see Ephesus, I see so many other familiar sites from the great country of Turkey, right here in this capital structure of our state capital in our great state of New York. Turkey and New York have many similarities. We are tolerant states. We have within our boundaries a diversity of population. Now, certainly New York State does not encompass two continents, but it encompasses two sides. The Midwestern side out in Buffalo and the Atlantic coastal side in New York City. We are indeed very similar in many ways, and to the extent that we can foster partnerships, we can foster exchanges, we can foster business relationships, we are all the better off. So I thank you all for being here and extend my welcome as well to you on this very special day here in the New York State Capitol. Mr. Cahill was pulling on my coat just now. Perhaps he's getting a little too familiar.
Thank you, Robin. We also have with us today from Staten Island, Assemblyman Michael Cusick.
Thank you. This is a great event. I haven't missed one yet, but I feel like I'm back in Staten Island because all my friends from Staten Island are here from the Turkish Cultural Center, and that's what's great about this event is that we see our friends from our districts. The folks from Turkey are here for their country, but they're members of our community and members of Brooklyn, Staten Island, whatever part of New York City, Buffalo. The Turkish Cultural Centers are doing work to help all our communities. I know in Staten Island and Brooklyn, they've reached out to many other communities to make sure that our Staten Island, our borough, is doing well for everyone, not just the Turkish community, but every group. And I just want to say it's great to be here, great to be part of the partnership of the Turkish Cultural Center, and it's always, my door is always open, and it's a great country, a great people, and we all are one family. Thank you so much.
Next, we consider him the Ambassador at Large of the New York State Assembly, Assemblyman Alec Brooke Krasny.
Thank you, Karen, very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, it's such a pleasure to be here, and actually to make it, because I came back from Istanbul yesterday night, and coming from a Turkish capital to the Brooklyn, the capital of American Turkish community, and then from there to Albany, the capital of New York City. I can tell you, in all three places, I felt very Turkish. Mr. Consul General, I'll tell you why. Not only because everybody wants to be on the Turkish diet every day, even though food is absolutely great and it's totally understandable. But when you're with Turkish people, you really want to be Turkish. You as people who are very friendly, who are really trying to understand you every minute of your conversation of being with the Turkish people, trying to look at the world through your own eyes and through the eyes of other Americans. This is very much an American values, along with the Turkish values. You promoting a Turkey here. You're promoting your own country, you're promoting your own understanding and values. I believe it's very much an American way. Because here in America, we're all proud to be an Americans, but at the same time, we're very much proud of our own heritage. And that's what makes America beautiful, prosperous, and great. Thank you very much.
We have several more members here who want to say hello. There are other members who I will introduce who are maybe a little bit smarter than us, and they went for the food instead of the podium. But next is Michael Dendector, Assemblyman Michael Dendector.
Thank you. Is there anybody from Queens County here? Yeah, there's my Queens table back there. I wanted to say how proud I am of your cultural society because you proactively come here to Albany to build on what Senator Eric Adams said, to exchange your culture with us, because ignorance is a horrible thing, and it causes a lot of problems. I represent Queens County, which is one of the most diverse districts in the city of New York, and I am proud to have a very large Turkish community there. But by you coming up here and showing us your culture, your music, your tea, your food, it breaks down that wall of ignorance. And then people get to accept each other and start to understand why things are being done a certain way and why people believe and eat certain foods or sing certain songs. We learn the cultural history behind it. So I'm so proud of you to come here and do this for us, to educate us so that we can understand your culture better. And then we can, in turn, go out and explain that to our constituents and to our colleagues. So thank you very much for coming up here. Thank you for being good hosts, and thank you for teaching us.
Next, we have the chair of the Environmental Conservation Committee in the New York State Assembly, but equally important, perhaps more so in his eye, a great representative from Long Island, Robert Sweeting, Assemblyman Robert Sweeting.
Thank you, Kevin. Welcome all. On behalf of my colleagues from Long Island, welcome to Albany. Welcome in particular to those members from Long Island, the very powerful and influential delegation from Long Island. Thank you all for being here today. We appreciate the opportunity to have this dialogue, and more so, we appreciate what you are doing in our communities every day. Thank you very much.
One of the great things about this institution is that it is constantly renewing itself. So I'm very proud to introduce one of the newest members, happens to hail from Westchester County, our good friend, Shelley Bayer.
Thank you very much, and a special thank you to the Turkish Cultural from Westchester, which reached out and shared with me early on both their culture and their commitment to this beautiful democratic process. And being here today is really the essence of sharing democracy in the best sense of the word, because we share culture, and we share values, and then we share ideas. So credit to you and to my special friends from Westchester, and from Yonkers especially. Thank you very much.
Last among the speakers here today from the New York State Assembly is a woman who's been serving with distinction another part of Westchester County for 2 decades, Sandy Gate.
Thank you so much, Kevin, and thank you also, all of you, for being here, and particularly those from Westchester County that are part of the Turkish Center. I had the wonderful opportunity to go to Turkey about 18 years ago, spending 10 days there and seeing so much of your country. But I have a very personal story, and one that probably others don't have. My husband, at age 54, decided he was going to be bar mitzvahed. And we found a very little temple in Istanbul. And he was bar mitzvahed that day in your country. And I don't think there are many people that have done that at that age. It was just so special. So Turkey is so much a part of my heart, and I hope to go back very, very soon. Thank you very much.
We also have with us, like I said, we're maybe a little bit smarter than several members who are milling about here talking to the representatives of the TCCs from their community or just enjoying some great food. I know some of them have enjoyed the hospitality of Turkey on that soil, but each and every one of us has enjoyed the hospitality of the Turkish Cultural Centers that represent our communities in and around New York State. I apologize to any of my colleagues who I miss. I'm looking around the room, trying to make sure I get everybody. I see Assemblyman Frank Scartatos, who hails from the Hudson Valley, as I do. I see Assemblyman Dennis Gabrazak, who is from Western New York, who's I know been to Turkey at least once. I saw Assemblyman Ron Canistrari before, who represents this area, along with Assemblyman Jack McEnany, who I also saw, and Assemblyman Bob Riley, who is also here from the Capital District, actually represents Manans, which is the home of the Turkish Cultural Center here in the Albany area. I think I mentioned Gary Tretlow. Ken Zabrowski from Rockland County is also here. Andrew Hevesy from Queens is here. Matt Titone from Staten Island has joined us. And I know I saw somebody else. I wrote it. Mike Benedetto is here. And Assemblyman Peter Botti was here. He had to leave. And of course, one of the deans of the State Assembly, Joe Lenthal, is here. So thank you one and all. It is our great pleasure to host this event here each year. Thank you for sharing your culture with us, and thank you for educating us so much in an area that in the 21st century, I think we need as much education as we can possibly get. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Assembly members, for your kind words. Now I would like to invite Turkish Consul General Mehmet Bilgen to present a flag to Assembly Member Kevin Bahidi on behalf of the New York State Assembly.
Can we please get all Assembly members to the picture? Please, all New York State Assembly members, please join us in the picture. And also, we'd like the senators as well. Please, we would like all Assembly members, senators, to join us in the picture. All right, one last announcement. We would like New York State senators, Assembly members, and also the directors of the Turkish Cultural Center to join us.
Now it's a great pleasure and honor to welcome a distinguished diplomat who has worked tirelessly to develop better relations between Turkey and other states for more than 20 years. He is a charismatic and experienced diplomat who served in Canada before his appointment to New York as the Consul General of Turkey in New York. Very well deserved promotion. He is a strong supporter of Turkish Americans and an advocate of Turkish Americans becoming socially active, and a trusted leader who sets no limits on improving Turkish American relations, and answers to the call of duty, whether it be on a holiday, during a hailstorm, or late into Sunday night, a man truly dedicated to public service. Please help me welcome Honorable Counsel General Levin Bilgin.
Distinguished representatives of the state of New York, dear guests, esteemed members of the Turkish American community, it is indeed a privilege, a professional privilege for me to be part of this wonderful event today. Under the roof of this august institution, what I have heard indeed made me very proud. Thank you for the warm embrace of our growing and dynamic community. For the record, they are Americans of Turkish descent. They have made the United States and the state of New York their home. Yes, they are indeed from a homeland, and they are active members in trying to establish the bridges between homeland and their adopted community. We Turks value and cherish our friendships. And once you're a friend of a Turk, you're a friend for life. And when we open our doors to friends, we open our hearts and our minds. Some of you have recently arrived from Turkey. I was going to say seeing is believing. So you just, the statements that you have kindly shared with us verified what I needed to say. So I need to say no more. I look forward to working in an official capacity as well as a personal capacity to further this engagement. And whatever you need on the official side, you have a friend across the United Nations in New York City. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Consul General. Now I'd like to invite Senator Diana Savino.
Thank you. I will be very brief because I know there are a lot of my colleagues who want to address you and say hello to you and welcome you to Albany. And I'm very happy I was able to be here with you all today at the Turkish Cultural Center. I represent Brooklyn and Staten Island, where we have a growing, thriving, diverse community and a Turkish community that's growing every day. So from Brooklyn and from Staten Island, I say welcome. And you know, Turks, I find, are very similar to Italians. When we get together in Bensonhurst, or we get together in Sheepshead Bay or in Staten Island, we start to talk about our commonalities, whether it's the type of food we like, particularly if you're a Southern Italian, or the way we look, or the things that we think are important. So it's our commonalities that make us, New Yorkers more than anything. But more importantly, I've noticed that the Turks are doing the same thing the Italians did. They moved to Bensonhurst, and they moved to Staten Island, and eventually we'll all be in Jersey. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Senator. Now I'd like to invite Senator Joseph Robach from Rochester.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I am delighted to join all my colleagues and come here and thank you for putting this on. As you've heard before, I think we're all so proud of not only being state representatives, but our individual communities. And in Rochester, I cannot say enough about the Turkish American community, who really, in addition to everything they're teaching us and sharing the culture, I always thank them. They've been so instrumental in academics, starting a charter school, businesses, not only starting their own center, but really making my community stronger by bringing themselves, their resources, their intelligence, their hard work ethic to Rochester, choosing to make that their home. And as you heard before, 3 of my 4 grandparents, it's a similar theme, do not speak English as a first language, so I find so many things very similar. And I always appreciate not only their friendship, but also their very, very strong sense of family and really acclimating themselves to the community. So this is great that you've done this, and I think it's amazing in my community. we've had two waves of what I would call really Turkish immigration. The first one was a lot of people that worked around the clothing industry, and Hickey Friedman, a very well-known company across the world for clothing. And the second generation has been younger people, a lot having to do with academics, and they both really, really made the community, my family and I call home, Rochester, New York, a much stronger place. So thank you for what you're doing in your communities. To my friend John, thank you for what you and your Turkish friends are doing in our community. Have a great day here in the Capitol. God bless you all.
Thank you, Senator. Now I'd like to invite Senator Robert Rodriguez from Manhattan County.
I was saying that I just got promoted very recently. I'm Assembly Member Robert Rodriguez, but it's an honor to be here with you and represent one of the more diverse communities in Manhattan, East Harlem. We have a small but hopefully growing Turkish population. I just want to say thank you to Mehmet and the Cultural Center for the outreach that they do, because many of us, both as a new legislator, but also with a small Turkish community, there are many things that we would not know about the Turkish community, and I look forward to my visit in the next, hopefully, year or two. But most importantly, I want to continue to make sure that New York State is a place of diversity, that we are a place where conversations about faith and culture continue to happen because we are able to invite and embrace new cultures, and most importantly, that every community in this state opens its arms towards different cultures. So that is something that we aspire to. We certainly do that in East Harlem, being a community of immigrants from the turn of the century, if not beforehand, and we will continue to do that. So I'm happy to be of immigrant descent, Puerto Rican descent, but also making sure that New York State remains open, diverse, and most proud of its different cultures. So thank you so much, and thank you to the Turkish American community, Turkish community.
Thank you. Now, I would like to invite Assemblyman David Webb.
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you all for coming to Albany, joining us. I represent a district in Queens, and as you may know, Queens is probably the most diverse county probably in the world. We have a lot of Turkish Americans living in my district in Queens, and we have so many other immigrants and neighbors from other countries. We actually have over 200 countries of origin and over 200 different languages and dialects spoke just in Queens County. And one of the amazing things about Queens is that people from different countries that may have different differences in their homeland and back home all seem to live together and work together and get along in Queens, in the city, in the state, because we all have the same problems. We all have the same interests. We all are concerned about our families, about our schools, about public safety. We all have common interests, but I've been a very big supporter of the immigrant community in general, whether it be language translations or just certain services that are unique, for example, to the Turkish American community and to so many other communities. I was in the New York City Council for 8 years. I chaired the Finance Committee. I was involved very much with many of your colleagues within the Turkish American community, both in the City Council and now up here in Albany in the Assembly. So I will be there when you need me. You know where to reach me. My office, again, is in Queens, but I have an office here in Albany, and I just hope to be there and to be helpful when I can to the Turkish American community. Assemblyman David Webb, thank you.
Thank you, Assembly members and Senators, for your kind words. Now I'd like to invite... It is my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Zafer Akin, who is the president of the Turkish Cultural Centers. He has worked tirelessly to encourage Turkish Americans to be involved in education, economically, and politically in New York State. He is an attorney, he is a businessman, and he is the father of 2 beautiful children. Please welcome Mr. Zafer Akin.
I have no idea how one speaks after such distinguished and elegant speakers and leaders of our community, but I guess somebody has to give the boring speech, so I qualify there. The Honorable Levent Bilgen, Council General of Turkey to the great state of New York, our distinguished senators and assemblymen, too many for me to list by name, Mr. Murat Kaval, the Executive Director of the Turkish Cultural Center, Mr. Mehmet Kılıç, my Vice President of the Turkish Cultural Center, Basil Ucan, Director of Cultural Center in Albany, Süleyman Aydoğan, Director of Cultural Center in Brooklyn, Oğuzhan Turan, Executive Director to the Cultural Center in Queens, Mr. Sadr Altınok, from Long Island, Ercan Tuzan, from Rochester, Mr. Avcı, the Vice President of the Turkish American Business Development Improvement, our distinguished guests from Turkey, the businessmen and the attorneys that are present with us, Mr. Cengiz Karabekmez, Director of Brooklyn Avenue School, and to all our students from Brooklyn Avenue School, and to all of our distinguished guests. I welcome each and every one of you in the 7th Annual Turkish Cultural Day in the capital of the great state of New York. I want to start by not only thanking all of the individuals that work day in and night in bringing this wonderful event to its fruition, but also extend a special thank you to the host committee here in Albany, to Tabin and Mr. Avcı for the support that they provide. I also want to thank all of you, not just for your attendance today, but for always standing side by side and back to back with all of us, for never hesitating to be there, for never holding back your support, for being a member, for being a partner, and for being a friend. Without you, these programs and events would be meaningless, would be colorless, and perhaps better stated, would simply not be. As some of you may already know, the Turkish Cultural Center is a non-political, non-governmental, not-for-profit civic entity established by generous and good-hearted Turkish Americans that set out to promote a strong Turkish-American friendship by introducing and sharing our rich Turkish culture, our cuisine, our ideology, and vision with our brothers and friends here in New York and throughout the United States. What a better place to do that than at the true capital of the world, here in the great state of New York, the state which leads the world economically, socially, and culturally, with people from nations, cultures, backgrounds, religions, and ethnicities, all adding a special spice to the recipe. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founder of the Republic of Turkey, established Turkey's unchanged policy of promoting peace at home and peace abroad, which is the same policy that is envisioned by all of us, Turks and Americans alike. As Turkish Americans, we are all Turkish, we are all Americans. We have the privilege of loving two countries, our motherland of Turkey and our adopted nation, and the home of our children and grandchildren, the United States of America. We are fortunate in that we never have to make a preference between the two identities that we hold so dear, since the values that we hold as Turks and the values that we hold as Americans are two of the same. Built upon our tradition of human compassion, understanding, and tolerance, Turkish Americans have a lot to offer the world. Although latecomers to the city, Turkish Americans are here. We are here in America, we are here in New York. But to be clear, we are here not to take, but to give, and to give generously, as many other groups have done in the past. Each day, Turkish Americans add a little more to the existing diversity that exists in New York by sharing Turkey's rich, generous, and diverse culture. We as the Turkish Cultural Center aim to do our part to strengthen and build upon these ties of amity. With that thought in mind, I want to give a special tribute to Turkish intellect, scholar, and philosopher, the Honorable Fethullah Gülen, a recipient of the East-West Institute's 2011 Peace Building Award, for not only inspiring those of us at the Cultural Center, but for being an inspiration, being a teacher, and a role model to literally millions of people throughout the world with no agenda or goal other than the promotion of peace, tolerance, dialogue, and mutual respect through public service and self-sacrifice. hence the mission of the Turkish Cultural Center. Our purpose here on this day, in this great hall, is to highlight, celebrate, and strengthen the ties of friendship and alliance that exists between the good people of the United States and the good people of the Republic of Turkey, and to spread the ideology and to share by these two great nations by bringing Turkish culture to the capital. As I always say, if you can't come to Turkey, we will bring Turkey to you. But as my friend Kevin has stated so elegantly, as Senator Adams has stated so elegantly, to truly experience Turkish culture and hospitality, you have to take that trip over the small Atlantic Ocean and come visit Turkey. We look forward to taking each and every one of our guests to Turkey. We look forward to joining you on this trip. And without further extending my words, I again thank each and every one of you for being here, for your continued support. We love you all. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Now please welcome Assemblyman Ellen Meisel from Brooklyn.
Good afternoon. Since everybody spoke about everything, there's not probably much for me to say except that hello, I can say that. I am a great fan of the diversity of America. If you think of America as a garden with many different flowers, each flower contributes to the beauty of the whole garden, and the Turkish community is just another flower in a beautiful garden or a mosaic, whatever metaphor you would like to use. But the Turkish Americans have contributed mightily to this country and continue to do so. They're doing extremely well. You're doing extremely well. Your hard work, your dedication to your children, your dedication to this country is unsurpassed. And so I'm proud to be part of many of your events. I've been to Turkey last year. I was in Turkey. A wonderful opportunity to understand and learn about Turkish culture. And when I come back to my district, I have the Amity School, which is not technically in my district, but across the street. It's close enough. I've been there a number of times. I've seen how hard the children work and the staff, just to make lives for yourselves in our great country. And it's a testament to what immigrants can do. Why America? For me, the future is very, very positive and up. There are some people who have some negative views about America's next couple of decades. Not me. I think the best is yet to come. I think it's a direct result of our ability to attract immigrants from all over the world, each one who brings special skills, but more importantly, an appreciation for democracy and our free enterprise system. So I congratulate you on an absolutely marvelous exhibit. It gets better every year, and I look forward to your next year's exhibit. Of course, I look forward to next year as well. We'll come here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Assemblyman. Now please welcome Arlene Hooper, Deputy Speaker of New York State Assembly.
I know Turkish, but I just want to thank you for the wonderful experience that was afforded me when I traveled to the beautiful country of Turkey. The first time I had the experience of traveling on 2 continents as we traveled across the Bosphorus, Asia and Europe. I also had the wonderful experience, especially as a Christian, to visit the city of Ephesus, where Paul had his trial, and the ruins that were there are so beautifully excavated. I had the pleasure and the wonderful, exciting experience of visiting a fairyland created by Mother Nature. But the most exhilarating experience was when the family of a Turkish community invited us into her home. And we had traveled all day, and we're all schedule. And so we arrived at about 8 p.m. And she prepared lasagna made with yogurt, stuffed grape leaves. She prepared for us a meal that to the Turkish community was a meal of welcome. I had the privilege of meeting her daughter, her son who was being educated and had traveled to Ghana, her husband who is a businessman, but I cannot remember her name because Haya, no Turkish. Haya, no Turkish. I have never had such an experience in traveling in all my life, except when I went to Israel and to Turkey. Those two experiences changed me forever. And I want to thank the Turkish Cultural Center for affording me that opportunity. I traveled with my colleague, Assemblyman Joseph Saladino from Nassau County, Senator Kevin Parker from Brooklyn, New York, and the trips we took brought us together. There are so many experiences that I cannot begin to express to you. Even the opportunity to go into a mosque and witness the services, and to observe an obelisk that was excavated from the Greek, and to see the head of Medusa. You from Turkey know of what I speak. I thank you. And I look forward to, and I encourage all my colleagues, travel to Turkey. They say traveling will broaden one. Well, this certainly can broaden my perspective, my experience, the culture, the friendship, the overall acceptance of all peoples in Turkey. And I thank you. Thank you is
Thank you. Now please welcome Assemblyman David McDonough.
Thank you very much. I will be brief because I think from my colleagues you heard it all. I have spoken to a couple of my colleagues who did visit Turkey on the trip last year, and I will tell you before that I said, who wants to go to Turkey? But then I saw what they told me. I saw some videos that they took, and I've spoken to some of your representatives in the meantime, and I spoke to my wife the other day, and I said, how would you like to go to Turkey? She said, no, we're not going to go. I said, no, you didn't understand. I said, how would you like to go to Turkey? She said, what do you mean? I said, maybe we'll go. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity, and I certainly hope that we can go, because I am a history buff, and the history there, all the way back to the Ottoman Empire, you know. And of course, you all know this. You probably never heard the song, why was Istanbul once Constantinople, right? That's a famous song. But I thank you for your participation here, and I'm very happy to welcome you to Albany. And I look forward to seeing you, and hopefully in Turkey also later this year. Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to welcome Assemblymember Nick Perry from Brooklyn.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to join all my colleagues who have stopped by just to bring greetings and to congratulate you on another Turkish Cultural Day. I've been trying to get to Turkey, but my schedule has not allowed me, but hopefully I can get to visit the beautiful country and get really a personal life with the Turkish culture. As every New York legislator should be, because we do represent a large segment of Turkish Americans who participate in democracy and contribute. Immigrants like myself who helped build this country and make it as great as it is. I congratulate you and commend you for your efforts to unite and to bring our cultures together. And wish you well in all of your endeavors. God bless you. God bless Turkey. God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Assembly Member. Now please welcome Assemblywoman Michelle Chanel.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm very excited to be here. First of all, because there's baklava with my name on it, which I'm very excited. I have had the privilege, in a sense, to immerse myself in the Turkish culture. Why, just on Saturday, I was with Sadri and the Turkish Cultural Center of Long Island for International Children's Day, which, yes, you can applaud. It was, not a surprise to me, wonderful. They brought together country after country of children performing, showing their heritage, their culture, what they're all about. And they figured out the Turkish, and I recognized this when I went to Turkey, that you get it. You understand the paths to peace, understanding, democracy, working across the table, good food, tea, all those things bring together what is important. And don't we all want salam, peace? Is that what we want? Yes, we do. And you recognize more than anyone, and I'm learning about the children. And Sadri, thank you for being the president of a wonderful cultural center in Suleiman for Brooklyn. Every time you ask me, I will come, because you understand it, you understand you are the centerpiece of the world, at that part of the world, in terms of bringing peace to the land. So I thank you. Your hospitality goes well beyond the borders of Albany. And I thank you for inviting me again and again. And now it's time for baklava. Thank you.
But right now, I would like to invite Mr. Mehmet Ozabey to speak on behalf of the Turkish American Association.
His Excellency Consul General Mr. Levent Bilgen, senators, dear assembly members, dear distinguished guests, thank you all for coming here. I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Council of Turkish American Associations, shortly CTAA. The mission of CTAA is to improve relations between Turkish American and Turkish people. It's an umbrella organization. There are about 40 organizations under it, and all the institutions you see around here are under CTAA. Half of the 40 institutions are in New York State. I would like to first thank the host committee for hosting this event. Secondly, I would like to offer our help and support to legislators in any way we can. And thirdly, I would like to invite the legislators to Turkey. We do organize trips to Turkey and show you around. In fact, our president, Mr. Furkan Koşar, is currently in such a trip. So please join us and come to Turkey. Thank you.
Dear guests, thank you for coming and celebrating the 7th annual Turkish Culture Day with us. The Turkish American community is a growing community, and we believe that next year will be much better and bigger than this year as it was from last year. Thank you for joining us, and hope to see you next year.